Make this short video, guys. This is a 2001 Buick Lesabre 3.8 Series 2 V6 in it, and it's very common for these intake gaskets to go bad. A lot of people say it's caused from the deck school that they use from the factory, which I kind of believe that, because if it's not changed like it should be, it will start to leak and cause deterioration of the lower and upper intake gaskets. So I just wanted to show you some of the evidence that you can see. Not always does the oil have to mix with the coolant or vice versa for that to be an issue. Sometimes it can leak externally. So if you notice, this engine here has actually been power washed probably not even a year ago. So it's been cleaned, and it's starting to show evidence of oil getting up past the gaskets and coming out around the lower intake. Now here's an example here. You can see it's kind of dirty there. Also, these coolant passage hose or bypass elbows, they're famous for going bad too. Those are upgraded ones I just put on there a couple years ago. Those are aluminum ones that they sell in the help section by Dorman. You can actually upgrade those and get rid of the plastic ones. Now I ordered another set because I'm going to be doing the intakes on this, and I don't want it to take a chance that these ones breaking or the O-rings being bad on them when I go to put it back together. I just want to get the job done right the first time. The other thing you'll notice is, along with oil consumption, you'll also notice coolant consumption. The coolant, I've noticed, has been getting lower and lower, and I have to keep topping it off. But one of the tall tale signs is, if you take this cover off here, which is just the engine cover for decoration basically and noise dampening, is, I don't even know if this camera will pick it up or not, but if you look down here along the injectors, you'll see all that crud there. Sometimes you'll even get puddles of oil down in there, and then down the side of the engine, it's all filthy, dirty, covered in crud. And I know you're probably going to say valve cover gaskets. Well, they've been done, and it's still doing. I don't think it's going to see anything back there, but hard to see, but I can tell without having any light. There's actually a puddle of coolant and oil back there sitting down in here. So that is a good way to know that your intakes are leaking externally. So they don't always have to leak internally, but they can actually leak externally, and you'll start to notice all this filth and crud and oil and coolant gathering in all these little pockets down in there on top of the lower intake. The other thing too with these, it's a very common problem, is there's an EGR tube passage that actually runs. I don't think I'm going to be able to pick it up, but if you come over here to the EGR valve, there's this engine still hot, but right there where my finger is at, that's the EGR tube. It comes and goes under the throttle body, and it won't pick it up here because everything's in the way, but there's a bypass that comes up through this plastic upper intake plenum, and it tends to melt the plenum. It's a known issue with those. Dorman has a kit that you can get that changes the diameter of the little tubes that's fit down into the lower intake whenever you reinstall it, and it is supposed to help from that, because what it'll do is it'll start to leak coolant in around there. I don't know if you can see down in there back in this little hole back here, but that's actually caked on coolant. There's also coolant leaking there. You can see a little bit of the residue right there. Right there, that's a residue. So it's starting to leak in a whole bunch of different areas. So these are some signs you can look for to tell if your intakes are leaking. So like I said, if you've done valve covers and you've cleaned the engine off, and then you start getting all this crud like all over the engine here, all over the side of the head and everything, most of the times on these 3/8 it's going to be your lower intakes and possibly your upper intake as well leaking, because of the plastic there, and that EGR tube will melt it, causing the coolant to start to seep out around the throttle body, because there's a passage in the throttle body for the coolant to transfer through. So it's just something to look out for. So I'm going to try my hardest to, when I do these, I'm still waiting for all the parts to come in from Amazon. I'm going to try my hardest to create a how-to video. I tried on my mother's car. She has the identical car. I just did the intakes on it. The problem was I had a bad camera battery, so I only got about 37 minutes into it, and then it went dead. So I wasn't able to record that for you guys, but I'm going to try on this one. Once everything comes in, I've ordered everything from Amazon I'm going to go ahead and try to make a video for you of this. So, but it has about 91,000, I think it's just 91,000 and like 50 miles, I think, on it. So it's actually a pretty common, like I said, problem. Some of these can been known to leak as early as 60 or 70,000. I've done one of these 3.8 Series 2 as low as having 70,000 miles on them. So I mean, or upper 70s, I should say. So it's not unusual, but kind of a common problem. I usually go with the Felpro gaskets. Whenever I do make this video of doing the intakes on this vehicle, I'll try to include all of the part numbers and everything of what I ordered. And like I said, I got everything through Amazon because with Prime it's super cheap. It's way cheaper than going to the auto parts to get all this stuff to do. Not a terrible job. It took me about 4.5 hours doing it in the driveway with basic hand tools. So, other than that, I appreciate you watching. And like I said, look for the video to be coming soon for how to do the intakes on a 3.8 Series 2 V6 GM found in a lot of their vehicles. Thanks for watching.